people are looked upon for what they have rather than for what they are. We give more importance to things than values. But the important things in life are not things. Values sustain life. In turn, values can be sustained only when the goal is spiritual and dedicated to a higher altar. An altar in life alters life. A booklet written by Param Poojya Guruji, Swami Tejomayananda. Deteriorating values. Looking around the world, we see a lot. We hear a great deal about human values going down and talk of moral degradation. We are told that God is all pervading, but we find that corruption is all pervading. As a result, there is concern and worry regarding the future. Notwithstanding this, I would like to tell you that such alarming situations are not new. If we read our ancient books of mythology, we will find descriptions similar to the state of affairs today. When Devarshi Narad came to this earth, he found that people were suffering and there was no law and order. They were not following any values or virtues. He was worried because he did not know how these people would be saved. A reading of his depiction and the time of the times without knowing that it was said by Devarshi Narad would lead us to think that someone has very aptly described the present state of affairs in the world. Socrates, in his time, said that children of his time had become disobedient and indisciplined and did not respect their elders and parents. He expressed concern about their future. This should not be used merely as a means of consolation. We need to delve further and find out the reason for this happening. Situations like these exist today, were prevalent in the past, and if things continue as they are, then possibly may remain in the future as well. Take heart. When we say that human values are deteriorating, we must be sure that these human values are how are they worsening and what we can do to restore them. At various levels, people out of concern are doing what they can to address the situation through seminars, workshops, and conferences on this topic. Deep within our hearts, each one of us knows what to do, but when it comes to action, we just does not. It just asked me whether I was alarmed by the present condition of the youth. He was surprised when I replied in the negative. Human beings have the free will to destroy themselves and conversely have also the ability to rebuild that which has been devastated. This is the beauty of human nature. There is a famous saying, all that goes up must come down. The flip side would be, all that has come down must go up. If there is downfall, there can be a rise also. So, though the present situation is nothing to lose about, it is not something to feel happy about either. By getting depressed, we would only be harming the cause of upliftment. Is that we have given more importance to things, to valuable goods than to values. The second thing we need to ponder upon is that the important thing in life are not things. Every person has the inherent desire to enrich his or her life. First, we want security, followed by comfort, and then greater pleasure. We want a bigger house and more things around us. These are the based on this we call a nation developed. Those who have more material things, a higher income per capita, and the ability to spend more money are labeled prosperous. Enrich your life. Enrichment has two aspects, outer and inner. We have to enrich our inner life. To enrich our outer life, we require a lot of effort and money. But those things that are essential to living are free. Do we require gold and silver for living? The answer is that we can live without gold, silver, and jewels. But the air, water, and food which we require are all free. I read an interesting sentence which very simply said, we are not cheap, we are free. There is a difference between cheapness and something which is free. Air is not cheap, it is free, and that is why it is most precious. We cannot live without it, but despite that, we take it for granted. The space we live in is free, but we put a price on the land and make commerce out of it. The space, air, solar energy, and waters are all free. Tulsidas ji has said, Mani manik mahenge kiye, सहंगे तृण जलनाज तुलसी तना जानिए राम गरीब निवाज. Bhagwan made precious stones, gold and silver expensive, but out of compassion made all necessities of life free. We take all nature's gifts for granted and using the raw materials provided by her, turn them into different shapes. By the process of value addition, we continue to make things more expensive and rare. Man always other man does not have. To enable him to be one up, he wants what his neighbor has and also that which his neighbor does not have. Greatness lies only in the value we ascribe to it, which in turn gives rise to cutthroat competition. In such cases, the principle of live and let live does not work. It is either kill or get killed. The problem with material goods is that more than one person often desires the same thing. The beauty of air is that all of us breathe at the same time and yet there is no competition. But when we give value to man made and handmade things, and based on that we evaluate prestige, prosperity, and power, it becomes prestige, prosperity, and power. It becomes desirable for all. These are the values that we covet. Greed is a very peculiar quality. We call ourselves superior and intelligent beings, but continue to destroy the very things, planets, trees, and animals on which our well being depends. The planet exists without comfortably can exist very comfortably without human beings, but we cannot live without them. The job of the superior is to protect the inferior. In a family, the role of the protector falls on the elder sibling. Those who are more educated must look after those who are less educated. The stronger must look after the weaker. None of these values are heeded because there is undue importance being given to money. We blame money, but really have become more important than the values. Can we enrich our lives by things? Our lives can be made prosperous by all the trappings of wealth and luxury. But without virtues like love, compassion, and honesty, there cannot be any long term sustenance. At a railway station, a fat man stood on the weighing machine to weigh himself. Since the machine was out of order, the needle did not move at all. After waiting expectantly for a few moments, he stepped off the scales. Two little boys standing nearby were whispering to each other. One little boy said to the other, I told you he was hollow. The fat man symbolizes the hollowness of the outwardly prosperous. Such people are always fearful that they may be cheated of their whole wealth. They feel that they have something that is coveted by others and hence live in a constant state of uncertainty. Such people are indeed to be pitied because they cannot love or trust anybody. The virtues that go towards beautifying our inner life are free. Kabir Das ji has said, खर्चत नहीं गठरी भज रे भैया राम गोविंद हरि. To chant the name of God requires no money. To speak good and sweet words, nothing extra is required. Leave alone humans. Even birds and plants are moved by the power of kind words. Do we need to show our poverty even there? External and manas or internal. At the external level, we may not have the means to offer a golden throne or expensive ornaments to the Lord, but we can do so in our minds. Even though in mental worship it costs us nothing to offer the most exotic things, we offer only a coconut in our prayers. To make our outer life prosperous, we require an abundance of material goods, but to enrich our inner life, we need not be dependent on them. We must remember that we may applaud a person for what he has or has achieved, but we respect him for what he is. The isness is more important than the haveness. Outer versus inner wealth. We have divided the world into the haves and have nots and continue to honor those that have. As long as we persist in doing this, there will be degradation because we are not looking at what man is but what he has. There is a very poignant story of a rich brother with a poor sister. The affluent man, puffed up with his own arrogance, would not even invite his sister to his home. regardless of his lack of courtesy. The poor sister one day decided to visit her brother along with her children. The brother insulted her and told her to leave his house. Saddened by his behavior, she prayed to God for help and, as a result of his blessings, gained a great deal of wealth. The brother heard of his change of fortune in his house for a feast. The sister went to his house, beautifully dressed and laden with ornaments. When the food was served, she took off her ornaments and started feeding the food to them. The brother was outraged and asked her what she was doing. Totally unfazed, she replied that she was feeding those whom he had invited. A man worth millions of dollars may still be a worthless person. As long as outer wealth is given more importance than inner wealth, there will be a degradation of values. We have to understand that there is a difference between is and has, and the former is more important. The base for values. Brahman or the Brahman or the infinite reality is indicated by the terms Chidananda, Sat, Chit, and Ananda are three aspects of the universal consciousness. They are one and the same and form the basis of values. Sat is existence, origins. All beings want to live and live forever. Therefore, respect for life is a value. Value lies in saving a life, not merely in refraining from killing. We have the story of Gautam Buddha and his cousin. The cousin shot the bird, but Buddha saved its life. Both the boys claimed the bird as theirs. If the bird were asked whom she belongs to, would she not opt for her savior? Chit is knowledge. We do not want to be exploited, but have no qualms about exploiting other people's ignorance. One man was selling watches at a very low price. Someone asked him how he would make profit if he sold the watches at such low prices. He replied that he would make money by repairing them. He knew that the watches were defective, so he sold them at prices which were impossible to match anywhere else. This is how we deceive people. Ananda is the happiness that each one of us desires. I want to live happily, and so does everyone else. So, what right do we have to destroy or take away the happiness of another? All these three are really one only. Therefore, we should work for the unity of all and not create divisions. The one who works for unity truly works for the propagation of values. Divide the rule has been the way of the world. It is not only now that this has begun to happen. We are very good at dividing ourselves and letting others rule. Material objects and gains are the reason for the division of political parties and families. It is not that we do not know about virtues and values, but we give more importance. Shloka from Mahabharata says that man is slave to money, but money is slave to no one. Knowing all this, we still say that there should be no corruption and that honesty is the best policy. There is a great deal of distrust in society. At government levels, vigilance agencies monitor the work of other departments. Despite this, corruption does not stop and be open to correction. In the absence of honesty and trust, we can do what we like, but it will be difficult to eradicate corruption. Again and again, we come down to the same thing that while we give greater importance to power, pleasure, or money, values will take a back seat. We must learn to stand up for some values in life, or else we will fall for everything that comes. The need for values. Lastly, we must know why do we need to follow values. Some people say that there is no need for religion or God, just the observance of human values is enough. It is important to know to whom we dedicate our activities. We have instances of authors writing books and dedicating them to some parents, to their parents or teachers. The act of dedication adds a new meaning to the action. Similarly, a value can be sustained only if it is offered at a higher altar. Take the example of a businessman who follows the values of punctuality, efficient service, and honesty in order to make his credibility is established. He tends to relax and business goes into a decline because there is no higher deal to which the work has been dedicated. People will not be able to sustain a virtuous life unless the value are for inner purification, God realization, or out of devotion for God. It is only in such cases that there will be no hindrance, obstruction, or blockage on the path. Often people want to know how long they need to be patient or loyal, or how many times they need to be forgiving. Can we really put a limit to such things? Altar of dedication. Human values have real meaning only when they are dedicated to God. Mirabai and others were put through so much of hardship, but they did not budge because their ideals or goals were not material. They did not seek appreciation or reciprocation from anyone. Values can be sustained only when the goal is spiritual and they are dedicated to a higher altar. Such an altar in life will alter our life. We must be committed and dedicated to the altar of our worship. There should be no doubting the value. It is no good to follow a path that we do not have absolute faith in. There should be no wavering from the path of virtue. Only such a person can be called a virtuous person. We call ourselves the roof and crown of creation. So we must follow the rules of this high calling. The superior must protect the inferior. The more powerful must protect those that are weaker, and the older must protect the younger. The rich must look after the welfare of the poor and make sure that they also become prosperous. Such actions alone can be called values and will add value to our lives. Otherwise, we will grow and add years to our life, but not life to our years. Our lives must be vibrant so that they are a blessing to others and to us. Hari Om Tat Sat. ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय।